Two women can follow the same advice and get two totally different results. It's not because one did anything better. It's because the context matters more than we've been taught. Hey everyone, it's Shayla Boyd-Gill, the Luxe Business Mentor. If you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe, like this video, and absolutely turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. If you didn't see the last video, make sure that you check it out. I'll put it somewhere around here. But let's really talk about why context isn't really discussed. There's always great intent behind the advice, but it's often too simplified for the place that you're at in your business. People are used to advising new business owners that are just getting into the market. They know the thing that will get them to their first six figures, but there are not as many people who have been able to successfully advise and coach people beyond six figures because we have so few business owners, especially women, who've been able to navigate that market. And so even with good intent, the message and the advice typically is not a fit for where you are in your business right now. Here's the truth. Context is messy and personal. So the first thing that needs to happen is you have to be willing to tell the truth about where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. And that means being vulnerable enough to say that things don't look as shiny behind the scenes as they appear on the outside. If you are willing and able to express this as the business owner to the person who is advising you, and if they're the right fit advisor, they will be able to support you in shifting the way that things are going in your business. But if you only bring the context of the wins to the table, you're only bringing the good to the table, people don't know to advise you to fix the things that are broken. So this is where it's really important to have the proper context and have your business assessed so that you can understand where you are, where you need to go, and have a proper path to use. Most cookie cutter systems are going to ignore the seasons that you've been in, that you're currently in, the capacity that you have, and your overall identity. And that's a problem. So it's very easy for people to spread advice. However, context is not as simple. There's a major cost to ignoring context. When I say this, I mean it really comes at a heavy price, not the price of what you invested in the advice, but the price to you personally. So when you don't focus on the context, you can easily erode the confidence that you have in yourself, your team, and your business. You're questioning what you've been doing. You're questioning what other people are doing. And then you're starting to question the advice because there was no context that was related to what was being offered to you. This is when you see business owners starting to pivot, and it becomes a habit of pivoting. So if you're constantly pivoting when something appears to be broken or you feel like it's not working, it's not because it's always the right time to pivot. Sometimes it just feels easier to pivot. But you need to make sure that pivoting is really the right next step. Sometimes the next step is fixing what is broken within your own internal system in your business versus running to the next popular thing. When you have a lot of advice, you will often also over implement. So either it's you doing a whole lot of things because someone told you to do them, or you're telling your team to do all of the things because you want a rapid fix. You're like, turn this thing around right now. We don't have time. We're losing money. We have to turn it around. And so you will over implement and the results will still look the same. And in the end, we know what happens. Classic burnout. Burnout looks different for every person. And most people don't know how to identify it when it starts showing up for them and within the business space. So that's a place where people quit. People decide it's not for me. I need to be doing something different. We need to give this up because you've tried all the things that everyone has told you to do and the things that you've read online, along with possibly the things that you maybe use AI to advise you on. And again, there was no context around it all. So in the end, when the advice doesn't fit, women often feel that they don't fit. So let's name what context really should include for you to be able to get the best advice possible for where you are in your business. Number one, your leadership identity. Understanding how you lead, the type of leader you desire to be, and how you want to show up as your brand as a leader, not only for your team internally, but also externally. Knowing your leadership identity can help you to determine how you want to move forward, the way in which you want to grow and scale, and the most effective way for the personality that you have. Number two, your business maturity. See, you're not a baby business. We talked about this. If you've already crossed that 6-figure line, you've been through some things. So acknowledging where you are as a business leader and acknowledging where your business has been able to land in this 6-figure lane is super important. That way, you're not going to be advised on at the level of starting a business, but instead you're being advised at the level of growing and scaling the business. Number three is your emotional bandwidth. This is capacity. What do you really have the capacity to handle? Do you have the capacity to scale, or do you have the capacity to kind of grow and just flatten out and be happy at that place? Where do you really want to go? Just because you've created a 6-figure business doesn't mean that you may necessarily want to build a 7 or 8-figure business. For those that don't, you need to make peace with your emotional bandwidth and stop being advised by people who want to show you how to scale beyond that point. But if you really do have the desire to scale beyond your 6-figure level, then do you have that emotional bandwidth to be able to do that? And if you don't, what support do you need? And number 4, the support environment. Your support is not only the people that you pay on your team. Your support may be your family, your friends. It may be your advisors, your coaches. If you have a board, it may be the board. But making sure that you're not the only one that's in the game. You have a team of people that are supporting you as you are growing and scaling is important. You have to have these people available to help to advise you. They can take on the context. If you're sharing that context with them, especially the professionals, they can then guide you in the way that you need to be guided so that you can grow and scale and not find yourself spinning a block in what I call the 250K crisis. And so if you're in a moment right now where things are feeling a little bit harder, I don't want you to question what you're doing wrong. Ask yourself whether this advice fits the context of where you're at right now. Make sure you check out the Luxe Scaling Path quiz so you can determine where you are and you can get the proper context of what your next steps may look like. You can check it out in the description below. Talk to you later.